So I want you to have that one, at least one OD file, and you can email it to yourself or using Google Drive or some other, I think Google Drive or OneDrive or actually, why it's not working? Okay, so share that file with you. Oh, okay. I think as usual, connection is kind of slow, but now I have this test.od file. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to develop and go to target manager. And again, I'll just use add database as a device, uh, remote test or something, create, and I have this remote test. And now I'm going to add target, this time 3D object. And file browse, I named it as test.od. So test.od. I have this OD file and open. So test OD, name test, and add. And now the process is the same. Okay. It will process it. And then you will download it and basically use it. So you have to wait a little bit. So once it gets processed, you can basically do the same thing. Okay? So now I have this guy. It doesn't give you that rating, but when you scan your object, if you have more points, that means it will give you probably the uh, that could be translated as higher rating. Okay. Unity editor and download. And now I'll just do this really quick. So I'll just show you really quick. I'm going to have 3D scan EX 3D and create project. So for by now, I mean, you should be able to create simple AR application. So I'm going to just do it really quick. Okay, so I'll just do this really quick. Okay, and yes. I'm going to add Euphoria. Okay, so I do have air camera, and now I'm going to actually use Euphoria 3D scan. Okay, so this is now object target, not image target, and now Euphoria is not enabled. So you basically follow the instruction here. I can do build settings, go to player settings, and go to XR settings and make sure Euphoria augmented reality is supported. Okay. And then now I'll come out here and then object target. It actually says now, oh, this one is good to go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, okay, right now I do not have, I have this Euphoria Mars object database, but we don't have that database, we use it. So I'm going to, I already downloaded this remote test Unity package. So I'm going to put this one into SS folder. And import. And now when I go to object target now, you will see this remote test OT. So now you can see now I have this remote controller as my target. Okay. Then let me do something really simple. I'm going to 3D object, sphere, okay. Then put this one inside of object target. Okay. Now when you do this, one odd thing is, okay, we really don't know how big our object target is. Okay, so that's like only problem with this one. Okay, but anyways, let's try to test it. And to test it, obviously, it's not going to work just because we haven't put our app license yet. Okay, so here, oops. It will not do anything at this point. Okay, so I'll go to Windows Vuforia configuration, and then app license. I'm going to get something from here. So I'm going to do this, and then database. I'm going to activate that. So now, so here, trackable test found. So here, the problem is, again, the issue is, okay, what's happening now is, okay, bad thing about this, we really don't know how our object target is, like how big it is. Okay. So basically, we don't know how big this guy is. Okay. So we have to kind of think about, okay, scale is now, like, let's say, even though you change this to 1, 1, 1, okay. Now this is the object target size, and my sphere obviously now too big, so I'll change it to 1, 1, 1, and then put it on the top of it. So sometimes it's hard to see how big your target is and how big your object is. So now it will be slightly better now. And now, so it's right over here. And then good thing about this is, again, like it's 3D object now. So depending on like how many points you have, it will actually recognize your target a little better. Okay. And for this one, okay, I'll just play with a little bit of coding. Okay, you don't have to do this, but if you want to spin something, again, you can use this one. Okay, this one as your script. This is a transform.rotate. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to sphere, and I'm going to create little texture. Okay, globe image, globe texture. So I'll just do something really simple. So now I have this little globe. Okay. Then I'm going to change this to. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add one script. I mean, this one again, like this one is kind of something you can try later. I'll just name it a spinner. In this spinner, I'm going to put things we did before. The script I mentioned before, this transform.rotate. Okay. And here I'm going to do, actually I'll do this one. So instead of update, I'm going to put this one. Okay, so this one actually using up, okay, or local x-axis. So what we are going to do, I'll just see how it works, and then actually I'll just change the axis. Okay, so I'll save it. And now, when you do this, so now, you'll see this, but it's hard to see whether it's moving or not. Okay? So basically what we're going to do now, okay, we're going to look at this times dot delta time. So it said 1 degree per second, so I'm going to actually multiply 20 and see what's going to happen. So now we will rotate it 20 degrees per second. And now, as you can see, it rotates. Okay. So I think 20 degrees is fine, but now we realize it's not rotated on the right axis. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do, this one actually I'll just get rid of it. And maybe 30, and instead of right, I'm going to change it to up. Okay. And now you will see this will spin a little faster and different axis. So now, as you can see, now this one looks is spinning in the right with right axis. So this is really simple way to rotate your 3D model. Okay. I'm using transform.rotate. Okay. And as you can see, now I have this interactive globe that spins, hovering over my remote control. And then now one thing I realized, I use it fairly small sized image as my texture. So quality isn't that great, but still, I think it's decent enough to uh, people for people to know this is a spinning globe. Okay, so this is how you can use object scanner, and now try to think about, oh, instead of using image target, if you can use this 3D object as your target, what we can do. All right.